Hello everyone, welcome to PassionWaterTarot. My name is Mamadou, and today is Missing Person Monday. The card that fell out is the Wheel of Fortune going in reverse. We'll see if that comes out later in the reading. But that's referring to things not happening the way they were expected to happen, not happening in the person's favor. Things very objectional happening, not things to benefit this missing person. Okay, my name is Mamadou, and we're just going to leap into the story. There's really not much of it, but this story, this person has really touched my heart, and I have been meditating with Spirit for several days regarding doing this intuitive reading based on their being missing. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about this person, okay? Her name is Shannon Michelle. Let me get her last name correct. HOKANSON. But sometimes she uses the last name Baldwin. And if you look her up, she is listed as HOKANSON, HOKANSON, on some pages, such as the Charlie Project. And on other pages, she's listed as Shannon Baldwin or Shannon Baldwin HOKANSON, such as the Facebook page about her being missing. Now, Shannon was a mother of 3. And she was born December 2nd, 1982. She resided in a place called Enid, Oklahoma. Her best friend, Ronnie Kitchen, last spoke to her. That's the last known person to actually communicate with her. And that was on May 27th of 2012. Okay? But the last time she was actually seen was in the spring of 2012 at the age of 29 years old. Okay? Nobody's heard from her since. And to make matters worse, she was not reported missing until August the 7th, 2012. So what's that? June, July, August, so 2.5 months after last contact, somebody decides to finally tell the police, hey, I can't find Shannon. She's not returning my calls. She's not returning my texts. I can't find her. What's in my hand? But at least somebody finally called. Now, Ronnie's an amazing friend. Ronnie has been so diligent. She's even raising one of Shannon's sons now. And she has helped to organize and keep Shannon's name out there, so that in hopes of siding or somebody finally opening up and coming through with the information that's needed. Let's go back to talk about Shannon just a little bit. She was somewhere between 5 foot and 5'3", so she's not a real big person. 120, 150 pounds, average. Brown hair, brown eyes. Numerous tattoos. I love that because every page I went to review the case and learn about the case to investigate so that Spirit could guide me, said numerous tattoos. A frog with a mushroom on the outside of her ankle. Blue roses on her lower back. Orange flower on the top of her left foot. A butterfly on the back of her right shoulder. A heart with her thumb and index finger. A heart between her thumb and index finger. Sorry, I wrote that wrong. And unfinished flames running down her spine. She was definitely a lover of ink. And she definitely had her own style. They do say that Shannon had a history of drug use that could have played a factor in her disappearance. Now, whether, one theory is always in missing person cases. Oh, this person decided to leave and have a brand new start. That's always a theory. It doesn't happen often. Occasionally, very occasionally, it happens. But it's certainly not a routine occurrence. But they do believe that something happened with an unsavory group of individuals or an unsavory character that she was associated with that led to her disappearance. And according to the Enid Police Department, let me get the correct words here. This is from the Enid Police Department, that they have identified individuals involved in the woman's potential death. Now, they released that they released that back in, I want to say it was 2017, 2018, but they haven't had any further progress from that point on. So let's talk to Spirit. Let's see what Spirit would like to give us answers. Supply us with who, what, where, when, how, why Shannon HOKANSON is missing. Okay? Alright, so Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels and Ancestors, what information would you like to reveal to us regarding Shannon and her disappearance from Enid, Oklahoma in 2012? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Well, we have cards going everywhere. Hold on. Those were the first ones that flew out. We have a story here. Let's find out what Spirit has to say. The Four of Swords. Somebody made a plan. Somebody had a plan. Somebody Yeah, it wasn't a good plan. Look at those dark clouds. They literally wanted to bring confusion and disruption. They wanted to cause pain in the heart. You see the 3 swords, like the broken heart? That's the 4 of swords. And it's all about planning. This was planned. This was not a spontaneous event. Now, could it be that Shannon planned to disappear? Sure. I'll give you that. No, I won't. Because I don't believe Shannon would have intentionally wanted to cause heartbreak to her children and to her friends and family more than she had already done with personal habits that were causing destruction in her day-to-day living. The Ace of Swords in reverse. Wow. Okay, so this is all about, somebody's like, no, I don't want to hear her reasons. I don't want to hear her excuses. I don't want to hear a damn thing from her ever again. I want to silence her. And I want to put a burden around her that she can't escape from. Really? Okay, Spirit. Something she can't come back from. Temperance in reverse. And that's a Sagittarian card. That, Shannon's birthday was December the 2nd. That makes her a Sagittarian. That's a complete disruption of the Sagittarian. There is blood going everywhere. It's spilling all over the place. It's chaos. Literally chaos. It's of the dark. But there's a witness. Somebody knows. If they were not physically there, they were told all about it. As this person snuck up on Shannon in the dark of night to catch her off guard. The Empress in reverse. Once again, the absolute of no new beginning. And they can't turn back the hands of time now, because what's done is done. And now they're in a panic. Now, how do they fix this? How do they clean this up? How do they not get caught? They have effectively silenced Shannon, and they've encased her. Whatever she's encased in, by the way, there's some stripes. You know, I see a barrel, but I see a blanket. If it's a barrel, there's different colors on this barrel and stripes. But if she's rolled up in a blanket and put down into something very cylinder, a well, a cavern from an old mining shaft. It's very cylinder. The Nine of Swords is in reverse. They're determined that they're not going to worry about what comes what may. They literally are going to act as though they have no cares in the world. They've not been involved in anything underhanded. Temperance is here again in reverse. Yes, this deck has two temperances, okay? But they're trying to pretend in their mind and everybody around them, they have been questioned, they have been a part of the search. There were several searches conducted. And this person actually was active in some of the efforts to locate Shannon 2.5 months after she had met her demise at their hands. I'm getting a strong masculine energy. This person very likely has facial hair, just so you know, because it really stands out where they're thinking here, that facial hair, but I see it from spirit that it's more than just a mustache, okay? Five of Wands in reverse. Yeah. They're trying to keep their distance just far enough to know, to not be singled out. They've returned to where Crystal is, to where her remains have been placed. They have gone back under a false narrative. Okay, she's under brush. She's underground, at least partially. There's twigs, limbs, leaves all over the place. Unbelievable. I really don't think it's a cavern. I really don't think it's a mining shaft. Yeah, there's been a lot of communication between those who are invested in this case, the police department, family and friends, and this individual. This masculine energy is high on your radar, very high on the radar. He wants to give off the energy that he's not a part of it, that he's Snow White clean. But the blood is seeping through the earth. The tears of Shannon to be discovered is seeping through the earth. She will be located. It will be by a stranger. It will be by accident. Okay, I didn't do this beforehand. Hold on. Let me look up something. Don't I always do this whenever I get to this part? I always forget to pull up a map and look at any maps beforehand. So, wow. Enid's really nice. Very nice area, folks, for those of you who live there. Got some nice parks I see. Okay. Trying to get the rest of it in here. Okay, it's not too far from Stillwater, Ponca City, and not too far from Oklahoma City, but of course it's to the north of Oklahoma City. The parks stand out to me. Whew, throwing cards all over the place. The parks do stand out to me. As I see all the flowers here on the Empress in reverse, trying not to be noticed, stand out from the crowd, not to bring excessive attention to themselves. That's the culprit, by the way. That's the person that harmed Shannon. I do not feel love. If there was, I have not heard if there's a boyfriend involved. Oh, well, actually, I think I did read one spot that she lived with a boyfriend, but, or there might have been somebody she was dating, but I do not see love here. What I do see is somebody felt that Shannon had not responded to them the way that they wanted her to. And they felt threatened by her. They felt a lot of anxiety when they were around her and very upset with her, mad at her. Death. The card of death. The card of Scorpio. Nope. That's not talking about Shannon's death. They've already told us something very bad happened to Shannon. And it was a head injury. She was hit in the head with a very large object. It did not happen in her home. It happened after she had been out with acquaintances. And I say not in her home. Not in a place that in her heart it was called home. It may have been where she was crashing at the time, but it was not in her heart. It wasn't surrounded by her family and friends. She was surrounded by those who were illicit friends. Okay? But this death card here is representing a change. There's about to be a new investigator, a new detective, a new set of eyes. It could also be the same as somebody who's already invested, whether it's a family member, a friend, or an investigator, detective, police officer with the Enid Police Department, that's going to look this over again. And they're going to discover a missing element, something that was not pulled into place before. And with that new, fresh look, the new, fresh look at the old files, there will be a hell of a amazing breakthrough in Shannon's case. So let's see what clarifying cards we have for this reading. I'm really happy about this review of the case coming up. If it's already started, somebody let me know. Yeah, somebody rushed in mad as hell at her. They were absolutely coming in anger. They absolutely wanted her to hear them. To know what they felt, thought, and they didn't like her reaction to it at all. Ace of Cups, going with that Ace of Swords. They didn't feel like there was any way to restart. That they had been disrespected. And that in order to maintain their respect, Shannon was going to have to be taught a lesson. So they hit her. They hit her again. They hit her again. A total of 5 times. Shannon was hit a total of 5 times is what Spirit is showing me. With one object. And it brought her down. It left her with catastrophic injuries and no way to call for help for herself, and this other person certainly was not going to do it. They were not going to offer her any justice at all. They weren't going to bring balance to the situation by calling 911. They did what they did, and that's what they wanted to do. But the thing is, now the anxiety sets in, and now they got to figure out what to do. So they called somebody. See that world? Yep. 2 of Wands. They have to make a decision. What am I going to do? So I call somebody. Who can I trust? Who's loyal to me? Well, that's who they called. I don't know that. I do not have anything that says this person came and helped them dispose of Shannon's remains or move her severely injured body anywhere. But I will tell you, this friend of theirs, this family member of theirs, this soul tribe member of theirs, knows exactly what happened. They knew within minutes of Shannon being assaulted and laying there with catastrophic injuries. So let's clarify this 9 of Swords in reverse. Now see, they don't feel bad that they did it. They just don't want to be caught. They don't want to be arrested. And so they're acting like, well, you know, she wasn't nothing special to me. Yeah, acting like they didn't care. acting like they didn't have a dog in the race. But they did. Now, whether that dog was money, did she owe them money? Did she owe them drugs? Did she steal something from them? Did she report something they did? Was this person wanting a relationship with Shannon? And she turned them down? Well, they're hiding in plain sight now. Under the mask that, well, yeah, I knew her, I didn't really know her. I just knew of her pretty much. We met a few times. There wasn't a whole lot of phone traffic between the two of them. It was more face-to-face encounters. So, Temperance in the upright. Lovers. Yeah, this person wanted to be, according to Spirit, they wanted Shannon to see them as their soulmate. They wanted Shannon to see them as the end-all be-all. They wanted Shannon, Spirit is, they were very attracted to Shannon. I'm sorry. I need to ask Spirit another question. Spirit, was Shannon sexually assaulted? No. No, she was not. So this was a physical altercation that did not end as a sexual assault. And they had mutual sex beforehand. That wouldn't be relevant to that question, okay? And of course, that absolutely can be the truth. But this person was very interested and attracted to Shannon, but did not want to reveal that. The Five of Swords in reverse is clarified by the Two of Swords in reverse. Once again, they're hiding in plain sight. They literally are letting down their guard and changing, in their mind, the role that Shannon played. So that they literally are living their lives so that they don't mess up. There's going to be somebody, more than one, that'll tell you that this person was very attracted to Shannon. Had the hots for Shannon. Tried to engage Shannon's attention. And did not like her response to them. So what's the Eight of Wands clarified, Spirit? And we know there's been a lot of communication between police, investigators, detectives, family, friends, and this perpetrator. They're a perpetrator. This person is really not emotionally stable. And they absolutely can step off the cliff when pushed into a corner. When they're not getting their way. You know who that is too, don't you? So what else can you tell us about the communication between, This person literally acts as if they have nothing positive, nothing nice to say about Shannon. They end every story they have about Shannon with some unsavory tidbit. Yeah, we were out down at the It'll Do having a beer or two. She can't hold her liquor. And when I walked outside, she was out there yelling and screaming at some girl. I saw her at the grocery store. They didn't have the kind of apples she wanted, so she was throwing bananas. And it's every story has some little tidbit at the end to leave the other person with the energy that Shannon is not a nice person. Well, it's not this damn person, a perpetrator, decision to say whether or not somebody's nice or not. Because I can tell you right now, I don't think they're very damn nice. I can tell you they're also not stable. Watch it if you are communicating with them, if you're somebody who's invested in this case, that you have a method of escape, a method of protection. Because if this person feels cornered, they're coming out like a bobcat, like a mountain lion, like a mama bear. And they're coming out to fight tooth and nail for their own survival. Because even this low-level calmness that they have going on, that's a part of their survival mode. And that's the only way they know to live. They literally turn their lives into their lives. Last two cards regarding the person who's going to redo this case and have the enlightenment, to have the awakening, to discover what didn't get pulled into place. Ten of Cups in reverse. It's going to be shocking to the family, the friends, all those invested. Because you're not suspecting this person at this level. They're on your radar, but they're not like the top 3 on your radar. Okay, so it's going to kind of take you by surprise. And you're really not going to be a happy camper because everybody's going to be interviewed again. That's why we got 10 cups. And they're upside down. Everybody's like, oh, really? I hadn't talked to her since sometime in April. I haven't seen her. What took us so long? Because sometimes she only called one person a week. You know, there's so many choices. Sometimes her phone got turned off. But anyways, they're going to reinvestigate, and that's going to allow the breakthrough. And that's when the interviews start, this person's getting called in. Then we get the 9 of Swords. Yeah, there's that person. They're trapped now. They're isolated, like an interrogation room. And their anxiety is going through the roof. They're trying to keep up with how many lies they've told. They can't sleep. They can't eat. They're over the top with anxiety and worry. Because they know they're going to jail. The biggest question is, and I'm going to ask Spirit, Will this predator reveal where Shannon's remains are located? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. We have the Ten of Cups. Bringing her home. Bringing her home. Journey home. To have that reunion with family and friends. And it's been a long journey. Whoops, wrong way. But it's been worth the effort. Everybody's put in a lot of work. Yes. This person, he's either going to tell it, or there will be a stranger that locates her. But the other stranger I talked about earlier, when I said a stranger would locate her, could very well be the search group, a member of the search group, for whenever he tells them. And I say he very loosely because it's a very masculine energy. Somebody thinks that they are King Kong. I mean, they really do. They bust through the door like the Kool-Aid Man when they're out of control. But Shannon's coming home. Shannon is. And it's been very much a lot of work, a lot of effort. And there may be more questions to ask once this person starts talking. Because even getting that person convicted, even getting the remains found, there's still plenty of questions. A spirit is telling me she was hit in the head. Spirit telling me she was hit in the head with one object 5 times, okay? She was concealed. I see a very cylinder object around her. It very well could be a barrel, but I'm thinking a carpet or a blanket. And I don't know that by the time she was wrapped up, concealed, if she had expired yet. But I do know that this person absolutely thought he was on a game show and decided to call a friend. I have no evidence that the friend ever showed up, but the friend absolutely knows what happened. Okay? Now, for all those invested in this case, family, friends, soul tribe, detectives, police officers, investigators, a romance card for you from Shannon is watch the deception. You know who the hell is lying to you. Watch the deception. Follow the deception. Someone is wearing a false self-mask in this relationship. Follow the deception. Follow the lies. The lies will bring you answers. So let's see what Archangel card Spirit has for you as those who are invested in this reading from Shannon and Spirit. Hello from heaven. Archangel Azrael, your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of your worries and feel their loving blessings. Wow. Whew. Spirit's amazing. One last card for all those invested in this reading, all those invested in this case. From Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors. From Shannon. A card of advice from the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck. Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Choose your path. Because all is possible. Choose your path. And I can't help but hear Shannon and Spirit say, all the others followed the truth to the dead end. Follow the lie to find a perpetrator. Focus on who's wearing a false mask. Focus on who is emotionally unstable. Focus on who is downplaying who they are and their relationship with Shannon. Okay? So let's read this. Choose your own path. Or choosing your path. New vistas are ahead, and you have the power to choose. And within, this is your freedom. Do not allow the restrictions and the limitations placed on you by the expectations of others. Let me read that again. Do not allow the restrictions and limitations placed on you by the expectation of others deter your path. Be daring. Cast aside conventions and restrictions. Dance, laugh, explore. Go beyond your predictable behavior. Say yes to life. You support others in stepping into their freedom. You support others by helping to capture a predator, helping to trap a predator. Now, this is called an intuitive reading, okay? And this was us asking Spirit to give us information regarding a missing person case. I didn't say this at the beginning of the reading, but please let me make this very clear. I do not accept, request money or anything monetary wise from anybody regarding any of these readings. These are a gift from Spirit. These are guidance to allow those in the 5D to communicate with us, to guide us in our journey as we look into those who have disappeared. Okay, so I'll see you all soon with your next reading. Namaste.